So we are going to Stu Mundell. He is live up in Sky 9 for a pursuit. Stu, what can you tell us right now?
Well, we can tell you that vehicle right there in pursuit by LAPD. This person apparently armed with a weapon. They actually may have seen the crime happen. LAPD might have witnessed it. You can see that car working very hard to get away from LAPD. A helicopter just joining. When I say helicopter, I'm talking about the LAPD helicopter. Is going to be over here in just a second. We're southbound on Arlington. We were in the Leimert Park area. Now we're working our way south out of the Leimert Park area. You can see very, very tight streets out here. Coming up in the Hyde Park area, you can see that vehicle moving very fast, tight streets. There's one of the LAPD units behind it right there. They're trying to get additional units, meaning other officers with the cars behind this vehicle, because they're saying that there may be more than one person inside that vehicle, and possibly maybe more than one armed person inside this vehicle. Very dangerous street traveling here. Southbound, just through Van Ness. That's where we are right now. You can see that vehicle making a hard turn right there. It seems to be a BMW. You can see that one LAPD cruiser not actually being able to make that turn. So that car is a little bit more performance than what those cruisers have. That was on Hauser there for a minute, and now we're making our way northbound through a residential area. 67th Street is what we heard is what the street is right there. Vehicle still moving relatively fast. Then they are asking for the helicopter to possibly, the LAPD helicopter, to possibly take over in tracking mode. Hopefully this guy will slow down a little bit. Haven't seen him hit anybody yet, but he's been very close many times. Coming up on Gage right now, making another sharp turn, appears to be eastbound on Gage.
Stu, do we know, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, what was the original want on this?
Well, it's had something to do with a man with a gun. So that is a very dangerous type of call. And that might be one of the reasons why they will continue this pursuit. Even though they are talking about right now they're going into tracking mode, they're asking the units on the ground to shut off their lights and sirens and back off a little bit. So they are doing that. You can see that. But they're still going to be there right behind the vehicle or close by. You know, we've seen these in the past, and sometimes the tracking mode kind of calms down the driver a little bit. But in this case, an armed person, possibly with shots fired.
Yeah, understandable.
And well, now we're hearing that at least one weapon in custody, apparently threw it out of the vehicle earlier on. Other officers from LAPD picking up that weapon, but that doesn't mean that he might not have another gun inside that car.
Exactly, and you were saying, Stu, that we're not sure how many people are exactly inside in addition to that driver.
That's right. We're hearing possibly a passenger. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why they were asking for additional vehicles behind it, additional LAPD vehicles behind it. So the tracking mode may have helped out a little bit. It does seem like they're slowing down just a little bit, a little less reckless driving. But the vehicles that are behind it are their lights and sirens not on. They're just kind of staying behind it. We'll get you a turn right there. Looks like we're making a northbound turn, eastbound turn, excuse me, and off of 4-8, that means off of 48th Street. Right now, the helicopter, the LAPD helicopter overhead, calling out the streets. And the thing I got to say about this is, when they drive recklessly like this, the officers are kind of in one of those spots. They don't want anybody to get hurt. They don't want anybody from the public to be hurt. Making a turn right there southbound now is off of 48th Street. Looks like we're starting to make some blocks. Looks like he might know this area as he was kind of turning to avoid those dips. But what I was trying to say is, when they get into these type of situations, the officers are they don't want anybody to get hurt. They don't want this car to crash. And they feel that maybe the officers behind the vehicle will help at least alert the public. So right now, we're watching this dangerous pursuit continuing in a residential neighborhood. I'm guessing, just looking out the window, if we're not in the Hyde Park area, we're right at the border of Leimert Park, but definitely making a lot of wild turns out here in a very, very residential area. Very tight streets. There you go.
Wow.
Look at that. Can't even make it by. Oof. And the pursuit continues.
Yeah, and Stu, the producer is telling us this did start in Hyde Park, some sort of attack that went on. But all I could think about is this residential neighborhood. It's January 1st. A lot of families are outside, a lot of kids outside playing, and this person just driving like a maniac there.
That it That's so true, Chris. And this is what the officers think about as well. Like we just turned off of Gramercy. Take a look at how tight these streets are out here. If there was another vehicle, there's no way they could get through. Look at that car actually kind of barreling out of the way. There you go, another officer from LAPD, and you can see the ones that are right behind him. I haven't heard the words re-engage the pursuit, but it definitely looks like they are going to do that. One of the reasons why I got that wider shot, I just wanted to show everybody the helicopter above, keeping an eye on this as well. Got his way onto a major, back onto a major. And another thing I have to tell you is it just gets worse for us up here. LAX is expecting a very heavy aircraft to be coming in here, one of those new double-deckers. And when those aircraft come in, they ask us to kind of get out of the way. So we're going to see what we can do to keep this... Okay, my pilot Brennan today telling me that as long as we don't go south, we're okay, but they were giving us advisories. So right now we're making our way westbound on a major out here. We're leaving the Leimert Park area, probably getting into the Baldwin Hills area in Crenshaw. That's going to be the major right there, and through a red light. Whoa!
Oh!
There you go. That's what they were so worried about. And there you go. You have an innocent person just driving out here, a new... Going to keep an eye on the vehicle, doors popping open. Look,
wow.
everybody just wants to give up now. If they would have done that earlier on, this would have been a much different situation. Looks like a female driver. We're going to keep an eye on these suspects, but we definitely want to keep an eye on that white vehicle. Very hard impact on the driver's side. You can see that wheel, the driver's side wheel actually pushed back. All the airbags in that car deployed. Right now, they have to make sure that these dangerous suspects go into custody before they can render aid to that civilian. But this coming to a crash out here on Crenshaw near 84th Street.
Oh my gosh.
48th Street.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the people in that white car. My gosh. But the good news is
Hopefully
the
they're
female
okay.
driver and the other person in the car are surrendering peacefully. Again, this started in Hyde Park, went into Leimert Park, ended right there in Baldwin Hills, I believe Stu said. Good news is it has ended, suspects surrendering. We're just hoping that the people in that white car are okay.
And it appears they're getting out of the car right now, and it appears that they are okay. I mean, it could have been much worse. They were driving through a neighborhood, but